Are you sick of living your life in fear? Think about what you could do if you were braver than anyone else. Through the timeless wisdom of Miyamoto Musashi, this video will show you how to become braver than anyone else. Face your fears and reach your full potential now. Let's start. Step 1. Understand your fear. Fear often grows where there is no way to know what will happen. If you don't do anything about it, it can turn into worry and overwhelm. To become brave, you must first understand your fear and bring it into the open. Find it, give it a name, and look into where it came from. See that which you can't see with the eye, Musashi taught. This means knowing not only the obvious things that make you afraid, but also the deeper ones that may have to do with past events, insecurities, or imagined results. You lose its power when you take the time to break down your fear. Ask yourself, what am I really scared of? Is it loss, being turned down, or not knowing what the future holds? By breaking fear down into its parts, you can better understand and deal with it. Because it's not clear what it is, fear often feels bigger than life. Once recognized, fear can be dealt with in a clear and logical way. To understand fear, you must also know why it happens. Fear is not bad in and of itself. It is a defense system meant to keep us safe. But in today's world, we often feel afraid of things that don't really put our lives in danger. Realizing this difference helps you tell the difference between reasonable and illogical fears. Musashi's theory stresses how important it is to be ready. The way is in training, he wrote, implying that knowing what you're up against is a way to get your mind ready. When you know what your fears are, you can face them with strength and understanding. Being brave starts with understanding fear. Fear doesn't seem so impossible when you shine a light on it and look at it closely. It stops being an obstacle and turns into a task to be met. Step 2. Focus on your purpose. When you have a reason to be brave, your courage will grow. There is less fear when you are motivated by something bigger than yourself, like a cause, a dream, or a duty that makes you do something. It was said by Musashi, think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. This lesson tells us to stop worrying about our own fears and think about how our actions affect other people. Fear can't hold you back when you're deeply tied to your purpose. This is because you are focused on how valuable what you are is. Purpose is like a compass. It helps you find your way through the winds of fear and doubt. It makes things clear and gives you drive. For example, a parent who is afraid of public speaking might find the strength to give a moving speech at their child's graduation because they love and are proud of their child more than they fear. In the same way, businesses get past their fear of failing because they want to make something important. To stay focused on your goal, you should first figure out why. Why does this matter to me? What am I going to get if I do well? What effect will what I do have on other people or on my future? When you're feeling scared, writing down your goal can help you remember it. Do nothing that is useless, Musashi also said. This makes us more likely to focus on actions that are in line with our purpose and get rid of things that make us afraid. When you know exactly what you want, you can focus your energy on doing things that matter instead of being stuck in doubt. Fear is turned into fuel by purpose. It helps you keep going even when the road ahead looks sketchy. You can protect yourself from fear and be more courageous by giving yourself a strong sense of purpose. Step 3. Expose yourself gradually. It takes time to become brave. It grows through small acts of bravery done over time. You can build up your strength and confidence over time by facing your fears in small steps that you can handle. Step by step, walk the 1,000-mile road, which was said by Musashi, shows how important it is to move forward slowly. Don't let your biggest fears overwhelm you by facing them all at once. Instead, break them up into smaller tasks that you can handle. Like if you're scared of public speaking, try practicing in front of a mirror first. The next step is to talk to a friend you trust. Slowly get your audience down to a small group before going after bigger groups. Each small win makes you feel better about yourself and lessens the fear. Taking things slowly also helps change the way your brain works. Most of the time, fear is learned and strengthened by bad situations or avoiding things that make you afraid. You can teach your brain that the thing you're afraid of is not as dangerous as it seems by introducing yourself to it in small amounts. Fear fades over time, and bravery takes its place. Musashi's way of thinking about training also works here. He thought that practice and hard work were the best ways to learn the basics. He wrote, "The ultimate goal of martial arts is not having to use them," which shows how important it is to get ready. In the same way, facing your fears over and over again makes you ready to face bigger problems with ease. To use gradual contact, you need to be patient and persistent. Step by step, you will get stronger. Each little brave thing you do builds your confidence in facing your fears, which leads to bigger achievements. Step 4. Reframe your mindset. A lot of the time, our fears come from how we see things. Changing the way you think about fear can turn it from something that stops you from growing into a chance to do so. Ask, "What can I learn?" instead of, "What if I fail?" Musashi told us, "The primary thing when you take a sword in your hands is your intention to cut the enemy." This quote isn't just about fighting. It's also about being focused and determined in life. When you think of fear as a task instead of a threat, you stop avoiding things and start taking action. Fear can lead to growth. You can think of fear as a guide that shows you how to grow and improve. For instance, being afraid of failing can teach you to plan better, and being afraid of being turned down can push you to be stronger. Focusing on the good things that will happen when you face your fear is another part of reframing. Think about how proud and successful you'll feel when you get through it. Imagine yourself winning, and use that image to push yourself to act. Musashi's focus on being flexible is very important here. "You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain," he said. This helps us remember that there are lots of ways to deal with fear and become brave. If you can change the way you think, you can see fear as a friend instead of an enemy. By changing the way you think, you give yourself the strength to face your fears with curiosity and drive. You worry less about what you might lose and more about what you might win. Step 5. Surround yourself with supportive people. A place that supports you will make you more courageous. The people you hang out with can either make your fears worse or help you get over them. Pick friends who will push you to be brave and believe in your abilities. Musashi said, "Respect Buddha and the gods without counting on their help." This stresses being independent, but it also recognizes how important it is to respect and value the people who inspire and guide you. You can build strength and confidence by surrounding yourself with upbeat people. Supportive people help you see things more clearly when you're scared. They help you feel better when you doubt yourself and remind you of your skills. Having someone to lean on, like a guide, friend, or family member, can help you feel less alone when you're scared. Finding role models is another part of building a network of people who can help you. Look at the lives of people who have dealt with and gotten over fears like yours. Their stories can motivate you and teach you important lessons about how to deal with your own problems. Musashi's works show that he thought people should learn from each other. He said that to improve your own approach, you should look at and learn other people's strategies. In the same way, learning from the stories of people who are there for you can make it easier to face your fears. Having helpful people around you doesn't mean you should depend on them to solve your issues. Instead, it means getting strength from their support and using it to keep going. Together, you can face your fears with more strength and confidence. Step 6. Prepare for the unknown. Uncertainty often makes people afraid. It can be scary to face the unknown, but being ready can help you do it with confidence. You can't always be sure of what will happen, but being proactive makes you feel more in charge. Musashi believed in getting ready completely. You must examine all things that come into view, he said. This way of thinking stresses how important it is to know your surroundings and be ready for problems that might come up. First, make a list of possible problems and plan how to solve them. If you're nervous about a job interview, for example, look up typical questions, practice your answers, and go over your body language again and again. Getting ready makes you feel more confident and less unsure. It was also told by Musashi, "Do not fear what you have not seen." This wise saying tells us that being afraid of the unknown can make things harder. By planning for different outcomes, you take the mystery out of the unknown and make it easier to deal with. But getting ready doesn't mean trying to control everything that could happen. It means getting the tools and attitude you need to deal with whatever comes up. Being able to change is a big part of being brave, and being ready for anything builds that flexibility. Getting ready turns fear into readiness. It changes your mindset from what could go wrong to what you can do to make things work out. When you're ready, you don't feel scared when you face the unknown. Instead, you feel like anything is possible. Step 7. Act despite fear. Being brave doesn't mean getting rid of fear. It means acting when you're scared. Even though you'll always feel afraid, it loses its power when you decide to move forward anyway. Musashi said, in battle, if you make your opponent flinch, you have already won. This is also true for fear. When you act on your fear, you break its power over you and show how strong you are. Taking action builds speed. The more you face your fears, the more sure you are that you can handle them. Begin by doing small things that make you face your fears, and as you go, make them bigger. Every step you take makes you braver. To act despite fear, you have to accept that you are not perfect. Don't wait until you're ready or don't have any fears. Those times might never come. Trust that you can change and learn as you go instead. Musashi stressed how important it was to make a choice. Do nothing that won't help, he told them. This means that even when fear tries to stop you, you should keep your mind on doing things that will help you reach your goals. The most courageous thing you can do is act even though you're scared. You can see for yourself that you are stronger than your fears and can handle problems. Fear may still be there, but it will be a part of your trip instead of something that stops you from growing. Being brave in the face of fear is a journey that helps you learn about yourself, become stronger, and grow. You can turn your fear into a strong ally by understanding it, focusing on your purpose, slowly exposing yourself, changing the way you think, surrounding yourself with supportive people, getting ready for the unknown, and taking action even though you're scared. The lessons of Miyamoto Musashi tell us that being brave is not just one thing you do, it's how you live your life. It takes discipline, a certain way of thinking, and a promise to go beyond what is possible. Allow his knowledge to assist you as you face the difficulties of fear and discover your full potential. Even though fear is always there, you can get past it and do great things.